is Montessori Matters with Blessing Fort-Ike, and you are welcome. Today, I'll be addressing some misconceptions about the Montessori method of education. The Montessori method of education is an excellent foundation for any child's life. Unfortunately, ignorance of the Montessori principles have led to some misconceptions of the philosophy. Hence, today, I'm going to address a few misconceptions. One of the misconceptions is that children are given a lot of freedom, so the place is chaotic. While the children are given a lot of freedom, they are given freedom to choose from a variety of activities. There must be an illustration of the purpose of each activity before the child is permitted to choose from it. So the teacher, it might be the parent, but must be trained. So the trained adult in the environment, whether at home or in the school, must explain the specific purpose of each activity to the child step by step, carefully for the child to understand, before the child is given the freedom to work with that material. So let's say I have 50 materials in the classroom or 50 activities in the classroom. If I have introduced the 20 of those materials to the child has the freedom to choose from those 20 that has been taught by the teacher to him or her. And because this activity is self-choosing, it wasn't imposed on the child by the teacher, the child do it joyfully, and the result is a peaceful and quiet environment, not chaotic. Let's take the orphanage as an example. If my child yearns whenever he or she is hungry, I give my child the freedom to go to the refrigerator. I say, whenever you are hungry, go to the refrigerator and take fruits. So, specifying the fruit has given the child freedom with boundary. So the child goes to the fridge whenever he's hungry to take fruit, not beverages, not bread or any other form of the food. So that is not the guiding line. So in Montessori, we don't give freedom without boundaries. When we give freedom, we must give boundaries. So the child will not abuse the freedom in the case of going to the refrigerator to take fruit. In the classroom, the place will not be chaotic because the child is working with what he or she loves to do, and he has chosen from the activity that has been illustrated to him or her. Another misconception that I always hear is that Montessori is religious. The Montessori method of education is not affiliated with any religion. Like I said in the last episode, it was developed by an Italian physician named Maria Montessori. So the name is not from any religion, or it didn't get its root from any religion. However, I must say this, I'm a Christian. If I'm running a Montessori school, my Christian values must reflect in the values of the school. So I will say the values a Montessori school adopts is dependent on the values of the owner of the school or the administrator of the school. I believe this is clear. Another misconception is that the children are not allowed to play, only work in the Montessori environment. When I hear this, I just smile. Why? Because the work of a child is to play. And we understand this in the Montessori environment. So in Montessori, the way the environment is structured, the way the material is structured, play is inculcated into work. So the children, they work as if they are playing. As they are working, they are playing, and they are internalizing concepts. They are developing skills. And they think they are playing because the material is enticing, the material is interesting, the material is inviting, and the material is engaging. So they can be there for hours working with the material. And in Montessori environment, you know what? The children prefer to work than to play because their work is play. Another misconception is that the children are not allowed to work together. And that is not correct. The children in Montessori, we know that children between the ages of 2 to 6 crave for independence, because at this stage, they are beginning to realize that they are separate humans from their parents. They are separate individuals from their parents. So they crave for independence. You hear them saying, I can do it myself. Leave me, let me do it myself. It's what they want to fulfill, that craving of independence. So, hence in Montessori, we allow them to work independently. So, we have independent activities, individual activities, we have group activities, and we have collective activities. So, when they work in group or collectively, we ensure and we let them know that you must not be distracting to other children in the classroom, and you must not be disruptive. You must not disrupt the activities of other people. They are allowed, they are encouraged to work in groups. Another thing I usually hear is that Montessori is just for preschoolers. Montessori is for children of all ages from birth to 18 years. However, most schools stop at preschool because it is capital intensive. So they want to do it and do it well. They want to do it excellently well. So they will just focus on preschool. But Montessori education is from children from birth to 18 years. There's another one I usually hear, that Montessori education is for the gifted children. So we say, Montessori education is for the geniuses. It's for gifted children. When I hear that, I just smile. I will tell them that every child is a genius. So what they need is just an enriching environment to develop, to unleash their potentials. So we say Montessori education is just for the learning challenge ones. I know that Montessori education is highly effective for the learning challenge children. However, from my experience, I know that Montessori is beneficial to all children, to every child. Whether you are gifted, whether you have a learning challenge, whether you are a normal child, the method is beneficial for every child. Another interesting one that sometimes just make me laugh is that they say Montessori method of education is outdated. I will just smile. As a matter of fact, it will be safe to say that Mara Montessori saw ahead. Why did I say that? Let's take a look at the 21st century scale and see how it is supported by the Montessori method of education. The first one I want to talk about is critical thinking and problem solving. In Montessori, the children are given the freedom to explore and internalize what has been taught. They are given the freedom to absorb what they have been taught. They are given the freedom to work with the material and ask questions. And the way the materials are designed is that when the child is working with the material, the child gets answers to his or her questions. That is problem solving. And critical thinking. They are given the freedom to choose. So before a child can choose, the child must have thought through. Okay, why should I choose this? Why should I choose that? That is critical thinking. Decision-making skill is being activated in Montessori environment. Another 21st century skill is collaboration. So I said the children are not allowed to collaborate. In Montessori, they collaborate because, like I said, they have group exercise and they have collective exercise. As they work together from a very young age, they learn to collaborate. That is why we have the mixed age group. Children of different age. It's like a typical family setting where you have children of different ages. You see the older ones supporting the younger ones, directing them. And as they are directing them or showing the younger ones what to do, they are reinforcing what they have learned. And that's the typical home environment. And that is life for you. So they are allowed to collaborate. Another 21st century skill that is supported by the Montessori method of education is communication skill. In Montessori, we appreciate communication. How do we do that? Each classroom have what we call reading corner. And this is different from, it's apart from the library in the school. We have reading corner. We do circle time daily. Circle time is where we give the children and the teachers the opportunity to interact. They ask questions, we respond, we read aloud to them. We read a lot story and we tell them stories. Sometimes they will tell us stories. Sometimes they narrate to their friends. All these are part of communication and it's a 21st century skill. Then you want to talk about creativity? Creativity is a 21st century skill. And in Montessori, we do art, we do music, we do drama, which is called pretend play. Or is it the practical life? Every aspect of the 5 curriculum area of the Montessori is enhances the creativity of the child because the child is allowed to work with the material. After the child has internalized the concept of source material, they are given the opportunity to present it in other ways. And we call it variation. So you can do variation of different materials, of different activities. And what else do you need to develop a child's creativity? What do you need to develop a creative mind, if not what I have discussed? And we want to stop here today. I know this episode was useful to you, so please like, share with family and friends, and subscribe if you have not done that. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.